Today's a gorgeous day, guys. It's so beautiful right now. A lot of people on spring break. I want to talk about something important, the comparison trap. That's a great leadway into this video. Hello. I'm going to be talking about the comparison trap today, how we find ourselves comparing ourselves to other individuals, why we do it, and the consequences of falling into this negative thinking pattern that we should not fall into. First of all, I have to say right off the bat, if you are comparing yourself to somebody else, you are telling yourself that you are not good enough and you are simply devaluing yourself. You're speaking to yourself that you're not good enough, that you don't have the right skill sets, that you don't have what this person has. So you're not a wonderful person. You're devaluing yourself, and you're also revealing to yourself, if you don't know it or not, that you have certain limiting beliefs that have led you to compare yourself to other people. When you compare yourself to somebody else, you're not seeing the worth that you have as a human being, as a person created by God. You're not seeing who God has created you to be. You're not seeing yourself through the eyes of the Lord. You are not seeing the value that you have and what you can bring to the table as well. You're just seeing what other people are bringing to the table and your lack thereof. That's not good. It's not good. If you are comparing yourself to other people, it does reveal that you have certain limiting beliefs that has led you to do this, to compare yourself to other people. Those limiting beliefs can be that you're not good enough, that you're not skilled at anything, that you don't have importance, that you don't have value, that God doesn't have a purpose for you. These limiting beliefs that come into our psyche as children, because we're very impressionable as children, need to be discovered. We need to understand how they came in. We need to heal from the wound that was created that allowed that limiting belief to enter our lives, and then we need to correct them. And we need to tell our subconscious thoughts that we have no reason to compare ourselves to other people. We are good enough. God has created us in His image. We have so much to bring to this world. Every one of us, a unique form of it, a unique gift that God has placed in you, we have to offer to this world. But if we're comparing ourselves to other individuals, then we're robbing ourselves of that knowledge, that understanding of how wonderful we are. And we're kind of punishing ourselves. So let me see at my notes here really quick. When you compare yourself to other people, you're putting a focus on the wrong things. You're putting a focus on what you don't have that this other person might have. And that can create an ungrateful heart, a heart of discontentment, a heart that can easily fall into jealousy and envy of other people. When you have an ungrateful heart, you cannot see what you do have that is from the Lord. You aren't valuing what He has done for you, what He is doing for you, and the faithfulness that He's been to you. And having an ungrateful heart will just make you miserable. It will, because you want something you don't have and you think you need more and more and more. But wanting more and more and more, wanting this from that person or that from this person, it'll be like a hunger in you that is never satisfied, because we don't find our worth in gaining more. We find our worth in the Lord and knowing who we are in Him. And He is the one that is the well that doesn't run dry. So when we compare ourselves, we really rob ourselves of these truths, these spiritual truths, these real realities. And we live in a world where nothing is ever enough, and we aren't enough either. And so you're just making yourself miserable, and you end up becoming depressed, anxious. You don't ever find yourself living the life that God intends for you to live, because you're focused on another person and what they have and what you don't have. You're focused on the wrong things. Like I said, when you compare yourself to other people, it creates in you a heart that is not pure, a heart leaning towards jealousy, a heart that is ungrateful, like I said before, a heart that can become hardened towards other people that have what you want. It just encourages the limiting beliefs you already have that you need to correct, and it can create more limiting beliefs, where in essence, you're putting chains on your own self, not letting yourself be free and living the life that God is calling you to live, because you don't think you're good enough, because you've compared yourself to other people, which is not good. Like I said before, it's not good. Go to Psalm chapter 73. The author of this chapter talks about how they were envious, they were jealous of the wealthy. So let's talk about Psalm 73. I'm going to read some of the verses. This individual that wrote this chapter of Psalms, it's called a Psalm of Asaph. I don't know who that is. He writes, "For I envied the arrogant when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. They have no struggles. Their bodies are healthy and strong. They are free from common human burdens. They are not plagued by human ills." And he continues on and describes describing these individuals. And then he writes, surely in vain I have kept my heart pure and have washed my hands in innocence. All day long I have been afflicted, and every morning brings new punishments. When I tried to understand all this, it troubled me deeply till I entered the sanctuary of God. Then I understood their final destiny. And then he goes on, when my heart was grieved and my spirit embittered, I was senseless and ignorant. I was a brute beast before you. Yet I am always with you. You hold me by my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, and afterward you will take me into glory. So he continues on to worship the Lord in this. But he was saying that, comparing himself to these wicked, wealthy people, not that everybody that we see who is wealthy are wicked, but in this context here, what he's talking about is that comparison made his heart grieve, made his spirit embittered, and he was like a senseless brute beast before the Lord, not seeing what he has with God, not valuing his relationship with the Lord, that he has something more precious than any wealth can bring. So when we compare ourselves to other individuals, that's what happens. We're not able to see our reality. We see a reality that the enemy wants us to create, which is a reality of lack, not being good enough, holding on to limiting beliefs, not thinking that we can ever accomplish things that have been placed in our hearts to accomplish. The reality is God has created us to do amazing things for him. We have him. We should be content with that. We should be joyful in that. We should be excited about that God has placed in each one of us this desire to live for him, this desire to have purpose for him. Just having a relationship with the Lord is a treasure by itself. That should be enough. When we see what other people have that we don't have and it bothers us, we're not valuing what we have with the Lord, the treasure that we have in our relationship with him. Then we just make ourselves miserable. That's the consequence. Comparing ourselves to other people just makes us miserable and unhappy. So don't do it. Do not look at other people on social media and say, oh, I wish I could be like that, or I wish I could have that, or I wish I could do that. Why make yourself miserable? Keep your focus on the Lord. Keep your focus on what he's placed in you to do, on your assignments, on loving other people. Don't be so inwardly focused in a selfish way. Think about other people around you, how you can serve them, how you can love them, how you can build them up, and not live for yourself, but live for the Lord. Live for loving other people well. Live with purpose, not for what social media shows us. A lot of times what you see is not real anyways. People are happy for that moment in that picture, and that's it. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We don't know what's going on in a person's life. Even if they have like millions of dollars, we don't know what's going on in their heart. We don't know what they struggle with. We don't know if they're happy or not. Choose to be happy. Choose to be content. Choose to be joyful. Value yourself. Be nice to yourself, and do not compare yourself to somebody else. And then how to move away from comparing ourselves to other people. Work on those limiting beliefs. Pinpoint them. I'm going to talk about limiting beliefs more in the future, so look for that. When you can pinpoint a core limiting belief that was placed in you when you were a child, and you can reverse that after having healing from that trauma or that wound, and then really work on creating the correct belief system for you, you can be phenomenal for the Lord. And if you really come to a place of accepting yourself where you're at right now, really loving yourself where you are at right now, with the inconsistencies that you might have in your life or with the lack of growth that you have right now, just accept yourself right now where you are at. Because even right now, before you even became a believer in the Lord was pursuing you because he loved you, because he created you, and you have that much worth without having to prove yourself to anybody or even to the Lord. If you can just accept that and accept who you are right now, out of accepting yourself and loving yourself well in the right way, then you can move forward in growth, and you can move past your limiting beliefs, and you can become the person that God sees in you right now. Accept where you are at in your journey right now, and then growth will come. Don't hate on yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people, because that is hating on yourself. Don't devalue yourself. Other people might try to do that. Other people might have done that in the past. Don't do it to yourself. Move forward, find healing, love who God has made you to be. Love the skill set that you have, the gifts, the talents that you have. Don't pursue something that is not who you are. Be who God has created you to be. That is where you're going to find joy, contentment, and peace, not in being somebody that you see on the internet, in a movie, or on a TV show. Be yourself. Be yourself. Don't compare. I think that this is a good way to end this conversation, and may the Lord bless you and direct your steps to where you can find acceptance of yourself, joy in yourself, and then out of that, continue to find growth in the Lord and as a person. And yeah, I want to see the amazing things that you do for the Lord as a result. Okay, that's it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.